Okay.
Okay,
Can
now,
you hear me clearly? Okay.
yeah, now it's better.
Yeah, I can see you clearly now. I want to start with this song just because it's trending so well. And I see you promoting it as well. And
Yeah.
and then that really, I think it's a good thing, really, because you could have said, okay, I decided to bring this voice up. I would just push my own songs for this album and just, allow it to do whatever it can on its own. But you didn't do that. You really pushed the song. Why does it matter so much to you?
Well, actually, last year when I did the International Local album, there was a particular song on the album called Feelings, and this song is like a tribute to like the Gambian legends and the artists who have done so much for the industry and stuff like that. So you can see on the song I actually named a lot of artists. I'm not gonna say all of the artists because there were artists that were named in the song that
Mm-hmm.
really did a very good job in the Gambian music industry, and then they're still doing good. But I mentioned so many important names, so many important people that inspired. Some of them they inspired me. Some of them I started with them.
Yeah.
So that song became something that was the center of the album too as well when it came out last year. So coming into this album, I wanted to be different. If last
Mm-hmm.
year I did a tribute for the artists with the big names, now what can I do for the ones that are rising up? So that's how this song came about. Avengers. So I was just sitting with Stylish, and I told him that this year I want to work on the song, but I want Asidi to be on the hook because he signed on the Stylish. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna talk to him. So he talked to him, and then they talked to the producer. That's how they got the song. You
I would
understand?
say you really made me find or just have a new star in Acidic because I didn't know him before and I saw it and I wanted to even ask why did you give him the hook? Why
Yeah,
did you give him like a
because
center?
because
You could have
even
taken
before
that yourself.
before I had any artist on the song, I already from the get go, I think it
Had
was
him
the
in
only
mind.
one. Yeah, it was the only one I had in mind for the hook
Okay.
because if you pay attention to the song, apart from Acidic, all the other artists that were on the song were just rapping. So
Yes.
it's just Acidic who was singing. So that's why I gave him the hook. So when
L-
I gave
l-
him that, when
yeah.
I gave him that task, like I gave him today, and then tomorrow the hook came. So which
Hmm.
means he was serious about it. So when he came, I could have done something too. I could have been selfish and like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, let me just put the idea aside. Nah, let me just do the song with Acidic, like Hussein Dada featuring
Mm.
Acidic. But I had this in mind already. It was pre-planned. So I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go bring all these artists and put them on the song. And the song is not about me. It's about them because whatever shine they're having from it, whatever praise they're having from it, like it just makes me feel much better because that was the whole idea from the start.
No, for real. And we're going to really talk about that all of it later because I think you really had massive talent in that music video. I watched the video and I was so impressed. I'm like, where are all these guys? Like, where have they been? Have they been hiding? So you really did something here. You have no idea what you've done, but we're gonna go to that later. Let's start with you. Let's talk about you, Hussein. And I just wanted us to start with very quick questions before we go right into the discussion proper, because I think it's a great way for your fans to also connect with you. Now, my first question to you is Afrobeats or traditional Gambian music? Which one would you pick? Ta-da-da-da-da-da. I don't really hear you sing Gambian
Yo,
traditional music.
you know
Is that like
me,
the Jellyba kind of
me,
song?
you know me, I'm so Gambia 100%, yeah?
Okay.
Afrobeat is booming, Afrobeat is the real deal in the world, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely go with the Gambia, like 100%. I go with the traditional Gambia.
Like the Kora,
Yeah,
like the Jellyba vibe.
yeah, the Gora, the Jaliba thing, and all of that. Even though I know, like, I listen more to like Afrobeat than that, but like, since this is an interview that I don't know who is actually listening out there, I definitely push my stuff, like, which is Gambia 100%.
Yeah. Do you imagine yourself doing something with, for example, like Jelly Madi or Jellyba
I've
himself?
al- I've always thought about it. Like
Okay.
yeah, before last which was what's it called? Back in
Mm-hmm.
2022, I went to visit him. Through a friend. We went to visit him. Very humble guy. Very amazing. Like Jaliba is a legend, man.
Yeah.
Being in the presence of Jaliba, I couldn't even know what to say because like it's like art. Because like there's some people that I've been watching since I was like, man,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
little kid, and now
Okay.
being in his presence like for the first time, it means a lot. And we were trying to patch up a song, but me, I'm not too cultural like that when it comes to
No,
my sound.
I put
So
that to you purposely because
yeah,
I know the
so
Hussein I know.
definitely, I'm not too cultural like that with the
Yeah.
sounds. So that's why we're still figuring out what kind of sound we can
Hmm.
present to him. Because if I'm gonna do a sound with him, I want him to be comfortable on the sound as well.
All
I
right.
wouldn't want to just take any type of sound and then put the legend on it.
Okay, so for those of you who do not know, Jelly Ba is actually a Gambian legend. And I see people writing in the comments section for the culture. Louder is in the
Yo,
comment section.
Jufure in the building. Hey, Jufure, shout out to Jufure, doing a
Yeah,
great work promoting the culture as well.
very
So
well.
shout out to Jufure, man.
Yes. So if there's one artist you would love to collaborate with,
And the
I know
what?
you've really done a lot. You've collaborated with the big arts in the country. Do you see yourself doing some more with others as well?
Are you talking about Gambia or are you talking about like?
Just generally, yeah. I mean, I was gonna ask you later on your plans for that outside of the Gambia, but right now let's focus on the Gambia. Do you have
Like if I
plans
would
of doing?
if I would want to have a collabo with anybody that I haven't collaborated with yet in Gambia, I'm not really
Okay,
sure. Maybe Jaliba, like like you said,
Jaliba.
yeah,
That's
those are
that's
fields.
like the
Those
epic.
yeah, those are the
Also, not
fields
just
I haven't
epic.
been yet. So those are things I would want to experience. Like I want to take my experimentation to a
Yeah.
point like that because I wouldn't reach that like that place yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a level, but I wouldn't have a touch of that yet. So those
Okay.
would be things that I would want to explore too and know, like what kind of sound, how the sound feel like being on sounds like that. Because you see the likes of FTs, Kombunka, they all been there. Nobles, they've had a chance, to push the culture. So I want to be in a position like that too as well.
Very well. No, great. I think that would take you out of your comfort zone and something to definitely
Definitely,
try. So
definitely.
if who's your go-to? I mean, what's your go-to song when you are feeling down?
I go to song, go to
Yeah.
song. Gambian song,
Any song.
any song.
Yes.
Uh,
I listen to very depressive songs when I'm down. Someone would think I should listen to something to elevate my mood, but it
well,
depresses me even more, I think.
it used to be a road wave. It used to be a road wave because like you listen to road wave sounds, it's always songs that are for the soul. Like you understand, there's a
Mm.
music that once you listen to, you kind of get into your like you were sad, you kind of get more sad. Like you understand,
But
you
that's
just
what you
wanna
want. Like I'm
yeah
sad
you
and I
just
want something to soothe
yeah
my sadness.
you kind of just got get into your feelings more and more. So it used to be road wave, but
Okay.
of recent if I'm not like really feeling myself like that,
Yeah.
I actually don't know, man.
You don't
Cause
know, but you do you listen to your own music, for example?
but like to relieve my mood,
Yes.
I don't think so.
You
Me,
don't think so?
if I'm listening to my sound, I'm always just happy. Like I want to be in the vibe and that.
Okay.
Like most of the time.
All right, let me move on quickly because these are supposed to be quick 5 questions. So the first thing you do after finishing a new album?
First thing I did do after finishing new album.
Yes. What do you do every time you finish a new album? What's the first thing you
Oh,
do?
you mean like the whole project, like?
Yes. Once you are done with your albums, what's the first thing you do?
Well, first thing I do is to go over it with my producer, like the sound engineer. We sit and go over the songs to see what are the mistakes, what are the
Mm-hmm.
things that we can do better with the album. Because like no man is an island. So
Mm-hmm.
like whenever the album is done, I kind of have few people that I will always play the sounds for. They will tell me what they actually think about it. Sometimes I will take these things into consideration. Sometimes I'll be like, I could have, but it's late, so now I wouldn't waste my time on it. But next time, I'll make sure I work better on those stuff that they feel like needed adjustment.
So working with your team after everything is put in place is very important for you.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So what's more challenging, writing the lyrics or performing live?
Writing the lyrics is way more
Mm,
challenging. Way
mm.
performing is the
It's
easiest
the
thing for
last
me,
thing, yeah?
especially the reason why I said this is especially if the crowd is booming. Like if it's a
And
big
you are
crowd,
so lucky because you get that all the
yeah,
the time. The crowd is
the
always
crowd,
booming.
the bigger the energy.
Yeah.
That's me. the smaller the crowd, the smaller the energy. That's how I always keep it.
Yeah.
But writing lyrics is not easy. That's not an easy task, to be honest.
Okay. So how do you react or relate to an exciting fan?
Uh, okay. Like sometimes, sometimes it be surprising because, like, me as an artist,
Yeah.
I'm not an artist who actually knows what type of level is in. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I just sit down and then I look at my story views and I see it's a whole lot of numbers looking at it, but to me, I don't actually pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I'm outside and then people are just waving, hey, dada, hey, you understand? It's always surprising to me
Mm-hmm.
because to me, I don't even know that I'm on that level. You
Like
understand?
you are in your own world and you don't expect
Exactly.
all of that, but it comes.
Exactly. So I don't be expecting it, but when I see it, it's always surprising for me. And then that helps me a lot because you know why it helps me? It helps
Mm-hmm.
me in the sense that I cannot look down on people because I feel like we are all in the same zone.
Yeah.
We are all in the same level. This is how I just picture things. So if
Yeah.
you just come to me, I'm always just like, hey, what's up? Like, we just catch it up.
Yeah. I know, for real. And that is exactly the point I want to start this conversation with. I want to say that you are a very simple person, and everyone knows that.
Definitely.
Where do you get that from? Why do you think it is important to maintain that lifestyle, even as you are at the point that you are in today, right now?
Well, I feel like from day one, I've never been a person who actually looked down on people. Like coming from where I come from, like that's not how they taught us. Like as kids,
Mm-hmm.
we were always together. We were always cool with everybody. The only thing we know was like as growing up was to like play, pray, and then like do what's necessary. So growing up, I cannot just like gain a little bit of fame and then start changing. Like you understand my point? Fame, like as a human being, you don't have to allow fame to control you. You have to be in control because
Mm-hmm.
you're the person in general. So that's why like that really helps me in maintaining it. Sometimes it's not easy because sometimes you might be in a bad mood and a fan wants to like be all excited over you. Sometimes to actually maintain things like that is more tougher
Yeah.
than when you are just in your normal zone and that because you could be sad and then a fan just saw you and then they're all excited. You will know how to act. And
Yeah.
the mistake you will do is to give them a cold shoulder because once you do that,
Yeah.
they're gonna take it with them.
For real.
Imagine like a fan that listens to you every day, like he actually meets you on your bad day, and
Mm-hmm.
then he was all excited, like yeah, Dada, like, and then all of a sudden I wasn't actually feeling it.
Feeling
Like
it.
if he if he go back home, what he's gonna tell the people is that nah, man, this guy, I'm never gonna listen to his songs anymore. He's
True.
not gonna think about like the fact that it could be that he wasn't in a good mood.
Yeah.
It could be that he wasn't feeling himself. So that's why these are things that like like people confuse a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people see a particular artist and be like, nah, this artist, he's full of himself and all of that. It's not that. Sometimes people just not like they don't just be in the mood. Like you just need to
I think that's
understand.
why a lot of artists or just big people out there just avoid crowds as well,
Exactly.
because and people also find it difficult to separate that personality that they see and they listen to with the real you that just wants to be on them by themselves and in their own space. And it's
Definitely.
not easy, especially when you're dealing with kids. When you shut them out, it's
Exactly.
done.
It's done.
But you see, I
Like they're
see
not
people
coming
in the
back.
comment, and I'm trying to catch up with the comment section, but it's overwhelming right now. And people are telling me December 14th. Do you know there are people who told me that, Mulo, I have booked my ticket to Gambia purposely, strategically within that time frame of 14 December, just to be there for Hussein's concert.
Nah,
Hussein, it's been a lot of traffic coming your way recently. How are you
yeah.
coping with this right now?
Well, actually, like this is why I always tell myself that you always have to work hard. You always have to work hard so that like the noise will be the work. The noise is not gonna be coming from yourself. It's gonna be your work actually making the noise for you. Because like when we started working on this album, yeah, I kind of realized something. This year, 2024, it's a whole lot of artists coming, and then these artists that are coming in Gambia, like I mean the young cats, they're coming with fire. So which means maybe it's not much time left for us being on top.
Mm.
But that like what we can do with the remaining time that's left for us being on the top is like how we gonna actually help these kids, become bigger and better than us. Like like get to point that we couldn't. You understand?
I
That's the
like that
reason why.
you're thinking. I like that you're thinking like that because when you love something so much, you do not want it to die, and you
Exactly.
do not want to go away, to go and retire with this craft. You want something
Def-
solid to stay on the ground. You
Definitely.
know, I don't think a lot of people think about this, but this is a very deep
Yeah,
area you're taking
because
up.
one thing, as an artist, you need to understand the way your stuff be going. You need to understand when it is going up. You need to understand when it's going when it's just stay in one place. You
Yeah.
need to know when it's going down as
Hmm.
well. You know, because last year we put in a lot of work with the international local law. It was like one of the most successful years for me as an artist last year, 2023. Yeah, so coming into 2024, at the beginning I wasn't actually dropping any songs because I need to rest, because like that's how the industry be moving. So I need to rest. So I wasn't putting out songs like that. And then at the other hand, we were still thinking what we were gonna do for this year, 2024.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't planning to do an album this year, honestly speaking, because like it was a lot of work
Yeah.
and we don't want to go through all that stress. But as we started working on one song, two songs, three songs, these songs they keep coming. And that's
They
what
keep
actually gave
coming.
us exactly. That's what actually gave us a whole album, because like we weren't planning for it this year, to be honest, because
I was
it's a whole lot
gonna
of work.
say, Hussein, you produce or release albums almost every other year, and I don't know how are you able to do it. It's like every single time we're gearing up to a Hussein concert, it's either an EP comes or an album, and that is something that is not easy
Yeah,
for every artist to do. Why is it so important for you?
since 2021 till date, every year like we come with an album. So I'll say it's always easy because of the environment I be working in. And number
Mm,
one, I would like to give a big thanks to Stylish for that, my sound engineer, because always like this, if you see the songs coming easy, it's because we work very easily. I call him anytime he's available. Like, you understand? That's very important for artists. That's why most artists they have work studios where they live,
mm,
because you might have an inspiration right now. Who do you go to? A sound engineer. You want to put it, you want to record it like that instant. That's why most of
mm,
the artists they used to what recording themselves. You know,
yeah.
so it's so easy with me and him.
Mm,
Number one, he has never given me tough time working with him. Number two, he has introduced me with Diamond Beats. And Diamond Beats nowadays, you look at my albums, it's like he's working on three-quarters of all the songs. So
mm-hmm,
it's always easy if you're working with the right team, because some of these songs it's not constructed by me, or the
yeah.
ideas don't come from myself.
All
Some of
right.
these songs the ideas actually come from the sound engineer.
Mm,
Like, bro, what do you think about us working on this type of song? What do you understand my point? So we
mm-hmm.
it makes the work easier because you already have the idea. Now it's just to put the words in place. So
Together.
that's why
Yeah.
it's always easier for me though.
Right. So, I mean, let's go right into it and talk to us. How, would you describe the growth in your style and the unique elements that continue to pave your craft?
Well, I would like to start by saying that, as every artist, there is not a single artist in the world who would want to be going like, who would want his career to actually, let me not put the career there. Let me just say the creation of his music
Mm-hmm.
to instead be going up, like be going down, because like you're working, people are always listening. If they're listening to you on in 2021, the way you sound in 2021, people might not want to hear you sound that way in 2022.
Sure.
The way you sound in 2022, people might not want to hear you sound that way in 2023. The way you sound in 2023, definitely people are always going to look for changes, because once they see the similarity, they're going to check you in for it. This guy is always sounding the same. So that's why I don't actually want that. Like, for instance, I will be working on a song. I might call two or three artists to be in the studio with me. Like, all three of us, we are actually looking for key points. Maybe this one is looking for the flows. This one is telling me like edit this lyric and stuff like that. That kind of helps you in like elevating your status, because like now you're not just working as a singular person.
Mm.
You're working collectively with people
So it's
that will actually
important to have that collective there
in
as an artist that is.
anywhere around the world.
Mm,
Like for an
okay.
artist, the first 3 years could be only you. The first 4 years could be only you. But come on, man. No man is a computer. No man's like you don't. That brain is not that big enough. There are people that are super gifted like that, but there are people that are
Mm,
not too gifted like that too as well. So there are
yeah.
people that only them could go for 10 years, they're doing their stuff only them. But I believe that as an artist, if you want to grow, you actually need to set up people
Yeah.
that you can work with that will help you, like, elevate your status.
Right. So let's go back a little bit and tell us at what point in your life did you decide that you were definitely going to use this talent of yours to build an income for yourself in a country like the Gambia? And when you guys started, music was not very profitable. I don't know if it is now, in fact.
Well, that was back in 2016.
Same, I
Um,
remember
yeah,
in high school
exactly. Yeah,
when we were, I know you guys graduated, but when we were.
yeah, exactly. So back in 2016, I just finished high school like 2 years before that, and in 2015 I wasn't doing music, but then I used to work at a bed station, as a bed teller. So, but then the government kind of just like terminated the whole system of the bed stations in Gambia because due to some reason. So like when that stopped for me, and then education wasn't there at that point because I felt like my head was in too many places. So then there was a day I was just sitting with KB. I know KB Problemo. I was just,
Problemo, that's
yeah.
my
So I was just sitting.
brother.
Yeah, I was sitting with Problemo, and he was like, "I feel like now this music thing, you already have a passion for it, like, and I know you're good at it. Why not we just go on with this music thing?"
Mm.
And I was like, "It's a good idea, but I don't think it's gonna work because like the thing is, the family is against it. So which means we need to, if we're going into it, we need to go into it all out." So then, and the next thing was we knew that like Gambian music, even if you're not in the music, but you be seeing artists. I know a lot of these artists before I even started doing music because like I used to have a cousin who does music as well. Like you understand, so he was a big name before I started. So he kind of introduced me to the FTs, Town 50, Troubles. I knew all of these guys even before I started doing music through
Okay.
him. So, but then I knew the status of the game too as well. That money was inflowing into it like that. So we were taking a double risk. Number one, the family is not gonna let you do it. Number two, are you even gonna make anything out of this music?
And
But
make
we were
that
like,
point clear. Make that point clear. Why is the family always resisting this urge of, the kids going into music in the Gambia?
well, yeah, well, number one is because of like, let's say, it could be traditional, it could be based on culture, it could be based on religion too as well. And then number three, once you listen to anybody talking about an artist, first thing that comes into the older generation, or the older generation, the people from the older generation, first thing that comes in their head is either he's about to start being a smoker,
Yeah.
it is about to be a
The
womanizer,
girls.
it's a whole lot of bad things like that are related to it. So like
Mm,
stuff like that will actually kind of make them feel like, I don't think
mm,
that's the way they need to be taken. Like you feel
mm,
me? So
mm.
I think those are the reasons why the older
Yeah.
generation, they don't just like to see their kids like
Yeah.
falling into being an artist or like things like
But you
that.
were able to overcome that, and then you had your breakthrough.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, because it was difficult so many times. We almost like gave up like so many times. I was like, man, I'm not bringing money back home. I cannot be stressing my mom like that. You understand? So because this were the first 2 3 months being an artist, this was like difficult. Like I could remember, I just had a small suitcase. It was so small, and that's every stuff that I have as in like an outfit. That's where I fit it in.
Oh.
Even my sisters used to make fun of me, like, look at you claim to be an artist like this, this your suitcase. You understand my point? So it was difficult at that time. It was very difficult because yeah, we were trying to make this work, and then so many times like you go to the studio, you lay songs and all of that, just being hopeful because like there is nothing that's actually showing you that there could be progress in this. So it was just the hope that I had. And then 4 months after being into it, or 5 months, I kind of had a record label deal. Even it wasn't like the diamond deal or whatever, but that record label deal to kind of helped a little bit,
Okay.
kind of help me stand on my own, take care of myself, take care of one or two things. That was going on for quite a while till 2018. The label left, and then things became dark again, like
Mm,
darker than before, like but then still faith and then people like encouraging me and that.
yeah.
So I just kept on going,
Because
like.
I remember a time where you and Janta were really doing big, and there just happened to be a time where
Ex-
I was not really hearing much from you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So how did you build
So
back?
you know the way you know that a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people today you ask them about Hussein Dada, most of the people think I started from 2020 coming into 2021. So most of the people don't know the story started back from 2016, 17, 18, 19 until date. So because like but then people that used to listen to the Gambian music back then knew that at some point we kind of gained buzz and then the buzz went down and then I try to find my way back up. Like that's me. That's human nature. Like in
Yes.
general, you know,
I
you
must
go
say you're
down.
so
Yeah,
strong.
you go down. You
Yeah.
need to like get yourself
Back
up
up.
and say, I'm gonna like yeah, I'm gonna go back up.
Yeah, no, true. And then, of course, we talk about the music industry, and when you talk about Gambia and talents, with the numbers issue always come up in a generation where everything is about numbers. Your worth is tied to the numbers you have. How
Definitely.
does that affect a growing industry like the Gambia's, where, the numbers might not really cut it compared to what other African artists are getting somewhere else, for example, Nigeria, Ghana, in fact?
Yeah. Well, what I always tell the people is that like since the population is very small, like okay, because the population is small, that's not our fault. Like that's how we just found Gambia. Like the population is small, so now the only thing that could help us in Gambia to actually ease up things for us, like in a breakthrough manner, because everything we do is always circulated in Gambia.
Hmm.
You know, even when we go abroad for shows, it's Gambians coming to our shows. You don't actually see most of the people like
Yeah.
out there like
Mm.
that are not Gambians, like people from other nationalities. Like you don't see them coming to the shows like that. So that shows you that we need big investors coming in. You know, we need big investors coming in. This music executive, like this big music executive that knows the links, people that will actually come and then put the sounds out there in big radio stations, big like Spotify playlists, Apple Music playlists. This is what's gonna change the
So that
music
is
industry.
not happening. Why do you think there's a gap? There's a
I feel
problem
like
there?
that's not happening because we're not trying to build an industry here. Like you feel me? Like you know, if there is not an industry, then there cannot be a channel that could actually connect us with the outside world. So it's
Mm.
always you doing everything. It's always you trying to reach out. It's always you going here and there to make things work. So like you know, that's kind of like a problem, and it kind of gets us stuck. Because if you look at Gambia, like it's like everybody knows us here. The fans are always showing love. So we here is not a problem for us.
The
Cause
Gambia
here,
and the
yeah,
Gambians are not the problem.
exactly. Those are not the problem. Gambians are showing maximum love. Even though I'm just talking about the spectators, I'm not talking about the companies because the companies they are not helping at all.
I
Like
was
I'm
going
just
to
talking.
even ask the
Yeah, I'm
deals,
just
are
talking
they even
about the.
coming?
I'm just talking about the normal people, like the fans. You know, that be
Yes.
coming to the shows and buying tickets. They are fantastic. That's why I always I always shower praise to them because they are the ones that are making us do. You know, making one or two things work for us because they're the ones coming to the
And
shows, buying
and
tickets.
if we're to be honest, that alone is not enough. That cannot bring you the big chunk of money
No
that
way,
you expect to get, yeah?
no way, no way. So there is big change that is needed for the industry,
Yeah.
you know. And then you look at 2024, you see the amount of big talents that are coming out of Gambia.
Mhm.
You know, man, you wouldn't want these kids to grow up in an industry that is still stagnant. You want them to grow up in an industry that's actually going.
Yeah, I mean, recently you made reference to the likes of Davido and his successful career and comparing it to other African artists and what they're struggling with. Just a little bit expand on that. What's your point here in reference to infrastructure and resources that's needed to make it big in the country?
Okay, can you go back to that a little bit, please?
Yeah, sorry, you got a distraction there. No,
Yeah.
I was just saying that recently I saw a snippet of you making rounds on social media where you made reference to Davido and his successful career, but you were also comparing it to what other African artists are going through right now. So what's your point here in reference to infrastructure and resources that's needed to make it big?
Yeah, because like I said, like a lot of people. I'm happy when the interview came out. You know, it became a trending topic. A lot of people had their say towards it. You know, I'm very happy that like 90% of the people I saw commenting on it were open-minded people, people that are aware enough to know this guy is actually making a point here. Like, you understand my point? So for the rest, you cannot like, because everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Like this is how I always like just set up things, because like it's easy as ABC to understand that the population of Gambia and the fact that we don't have that structuring in here, you can never ever put Gambia and Nigeria on the same scale when it comes to anything that has to do with music or entertainment. Because of what these people, they already have the foundation, they have the structuring, like they have the links, they have the connections, they have the channels, all of these things.
The network is breaking a bit there. Uh,
And actually make things work for us. You understand?
okay.
Because like
Mm-hmm.
if these things don't actually come, it will actually give. We will just be standing at the same point,
Yeah.
and there will always be a problem for us because we need growth. We need the industry to move from one level to another. You will not want to see your artist doing the same thing over and
Mm-hmm.
over for like 5 years straight. You will get tired. You will get bored of like he's the way he works. Then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna go look for someone else. This is what happens to most of the Gambian artists. Like you keep doing the same thing every year, and then the fans they get tired. They look at elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because the sound, the strategies, everything just becomes the same. So
Mm.
they go look at another artist, and then that's how they jump from one artist to another to another to another. So we need structuring. We need people to come in the industry because there are big talents in Gambia. There
Mm-hmm.
are big talents there that the outside world could listen to them like, wow, man, we were missing out. So we need people that are gonna connect us with the outside world. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that's missing in the Gambian music industry.
Right. And then when you look at the evolution of Afrobeats, do you see really Gambians also matching up to the trend and what it requires them or what it takes them to get to that point of
Well,
stardom?
like you look at Gambia, there is a problem too that the fact that we have a lot of artists in Gambia, like you understand, it's a whole lot of artists in Gambia. So, but then when you look at the recent artists that are coming,
Mm-hmm.
you know that these guys, oh, they are way aware than the
They
ones
come with a
that
difference.
were
Yeah,
coming.
they come with
Because
what the
now,
industry
yeah,
needs.
exactly. Yeah, because now these guys are coming with the trending stuff. They're actually singing stuff that people can actually vibe to, be it at home and outside. There are artists that are singing, they're doing amazing. Because for instance, in some like in the past years, you see somebody coming from abroad to Gambia. It's like, yeah, y'all music is enjoyable, but only in Gambia. We cannot play your sounds out there because if we play it, they don't know your language. The beat doesn't add up like as well.
But
But
there are other
now,
countries where the artists are also singing in their own language,
yeah,
and
but
we
then
all just
like
kind of
that's
vibe.
that's why I said that's why I was talking about the vibe, because like those people, even if you don't know what they're saying, but you will actually vibe into the song. So that's
Take
why
Diamond
exactly.
Platinum, for example,
That's
when
why
he started,
that's
he was just singing in his dialect, local
Yeah, but
language.
that even today, that's how he's singing. He's singing in his
Yeah.
language and he's making it big because of
Yes.
what he is giving them the sound that they can actually like. You can listen to the sound.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's saying. You don't need to know. Music is a universal language. It's not about what language you're talking about. Even at some point, it might be necessary, but not at all times. So
That's
the
true.
likes of Diamond Platinum, they have producers. Like this is why I came. I'm telling you about that sound. The sound matters a lot. So the sounds that we are producing now from Gambia, it can actually be played anywhere around the world, and people are gonna vibe to it.
And
I'm
it,
100%
I
sure
mean,
about that.
yeah, and we even have his interview up there on our channel where he was even saying that sometimes it's not easy to set a precedent. For example, you come with a new sound and your crew cannot relate to that sound because it's new. So you have to
Exactly.
believe in your own craft and convince them that this is the
This is
path
the
that you
deal.
want to take.
Like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
the real deal. Like, this is the trend. This is what's
Mhm.
gonna change everything
Yeah.
for us. Yeah,
Right.
it's just you and what you believe in, like as an
Mhm.
artist. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean, I also wanted to talk about, even though you are so young and you are in this industry and you're giving it all it takes, you also value and you nurture your spirituality. I wanted to have this interview earlier and you said to me, can we do it after Maghrib? And I said, okay, so why is that intimate moment so important to you, despite the fact that you have your busy schedule and you have all these projects, the music, everything that's happening, but you feel it's still important to have that connection with a higher power?
can you go back to that? I think my connection is kind of tripping a
The
little bit.
connection is a little bit a problem
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was just asking in regards to the spirituality. Those of you in the comment section, just let me know if you are seeing us okay. Is the connection all right? Is everything fine? Because I can see it break a bit. Yeah, so I was just saying, why is nurturing already having the hearts there? Why is nurturing your spirituality so important to you? Because I wanted to have this interview earlier, and you said to me, "Can we do it after Maghrib?" You know. So I'm saying, despite the fact that you're so busy, you're a young person, young people are full of life. They have so many activities happening that they do not even have the
Okay.
they don't have the time to even pray.
Okay.
But you feel it's so important to you to have that intimate time with a higher power. Yeah.
I feel like that's how it's always been. Like, I feel like missing a prayer is a big deal for me. Like, a very very big deal. I just feel like every time it happens, I don't feel myself. Like, I feel different. So once, like, when you told me about the interview, and then I look at the timing, I'm like, can we just adjust the time a little bit so I
Yeah.
could just get this one out of the
And
way,
not out
so
of
I could
the
have a,
way.
like, free, yeah, I could have a free time so that I could be myself when I'm in the interview. That's just who I am from day one, even before the music, it has never changed. It has just been me from day one.
Yeah. So does it really change anything in you? Like, do you believe you are able tapping into that your spiritual life and that spiritual moment really does something to you in your person and in your work that you're doing?
You mean, does it actually do?
Yes, I mean, why is that so important for you as a person, but also in the work that
Yeah,
you're
but I
doing? Do
feel like
you?
I feel like I feel I feel like me as a person, and everything I've had today, everything I've had today, like, it comes from the higher power. Like, you understand my point? Like, everything I have. So, like, I feel like, showing gratitude and being grateful is very important for a human being. This is why it's very important to me. This is why I've never actually put my trust in people. Like, I've seen a lot of people that will actually tell you, go and visit this kind of guy. He's gonna do this and this for you. Like, I mean, like the marable, like spiritualities and all of that.
Mm,
Like, go visit this guy. This guy, he's gonna do. That has never been me. Like, I believe that, like, if that marable can do anything for me, it's because of the powers of the higher power, if it's even possible. Because that's
mm,
something that I don't actually focus on like that. So I
mm,
feel like everything I've had, everything that's been going on for me, be it it's in the good or the bad, it always
mm,
comes from the higher power. So that's
mm.
why he comes first, second, third, fourth, fifth on my list. Then whatever comes sixth comes in.
Comes there, right? And so let's talk about also young people, Gambian young people, African youth. What do you think is the biggest challenge that they are facing right now, especially those in the creative industry? Can you hear me, Hussein?
Malusi, I think I will have. No, no. Let me just exit and come back real quick.
All right. Okay. I think
Let
we're
me
losing.
just join. Yeah, I'll just join it back just now. Just join it back.
All right. The network is shaking there a bit, but are you all in the comment section hearing us okay? We still have about 10 minutes before we wrap it up, but stay till the end because we have other interesting things to discuss as well. This has been very, very fruitful, and I'm very happy to have Dada here and all of you as well here with us. So he will join us very quickly and we will continue the conversation. Of course, I know there's an electricity issue in the Gambia. Okay, you're hearing me. That's good to know. Yeah, in the beginning, there was already the electricity issue, so we had to sort that out. And now the network is also tripping a bit, but I'm hoping that he will be here so that we can conclude very soon. Yes, my name, I am Fatu Miloshi, and I'm also a Gambian, like Hussein Dada. So, pretty much the reason why I can obviously relate to him. So, what do you all want to tell Dada in the comment section? Little Dada, wow, you are all gearing up to, I'm sure, December 14, that is coming very soon. So, he's got massive projects in the pipeline, and a lot of you are already showing massive love for that. That is the energy that we need. That is what we want because we also want to see our African artists doing it big, and they cannot do that without your support. So keep giving them the support that they need because that is the only thing that can really make them that can really encourage them and keep making sure they do the work that they're doing. So yes, thank you all for being here. I hope Hussein joins us very soon. Someone is asking what's his biggest regret in his music career. All right, I'll put that to him when he comes soon. And yeah, so I think Hussein is a very positive person, and that's a light that he exudes, and very much. I think he's joining. Okay, no, other people. Yeah, he's a very positive person. He's a very simple person. How you see him talk is who he is, and that is something that we all can very much learn from as young people in the industry, young people with a talent. I think these are all things that we can all learn from. But I will be happy if Hussein can join very soon. We have about 5 minutes to wrap it up. We're towards the end. I know the connection issue is always a problem in the Gambia also, and that is something that we all have to make do with. Yeah, so where are you listening from? Which country are you in? And what do you like about Hussein and his music? What questions do you have for him? Someone wants to know what one lesson has he learned since he started his career to please ask him that question. All right. I'm hoping that he joins very okay, he's here quickly. Um, yep. Who's are you back?
Yeah, I'm back,
Oh,
man.
all
Sorry.
right. Sorry about that. I know, but we're wrapping up very quickly. And
Definitely.
yeah, so yeah, I was just asking, just briefly, what you think is the biggest problem that African youth are facing, Gambian youth, African youth, especially those in the creative industry.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, like it's the belief that things will only change when we leave the continent.
Mm.
Like there are always greener pasture outside of Africa. I feel like that has been a big problem, because the youth here, most of the time, it's the failures of the system. The system fails the youth in most of the time and all of that. So like it's always been a problem. The system doesn't actually give the tools, the right tools to the youth. You
And
know,
that is not changing, would you say? Is it really changing? Has there been
it's
any
getting,
progress?
it's always getting worse. I think. Yeah,
Mm.
I think it's always getting worse. Like the
So you
system.
don't see the issue of the back way being curtailed in any way. You see it
Well,
gaining.
back way. The reason why back way is important to the boys is because, like I said, boys feel like you see your age mate. For instance, today, me and you, we're the same. If we're the same age, I'm just giving an example. Like you a boy, I'm a boy. You know, you actually happen to have a visa. Like I'll not even go to back way. You just have a visa, and then you actually go abroad. I see in the next few years you are doing way better than I am doing. You
Mm.
understand? Because this is the reason. I just want us to talk about the reason why boys
Let's
actually
talk
do.
about it.
Yeah, I just want us to talk about the reason why boys actually even have the thinking of going the back way and all of that. It's because they see other people that are in the same age group with them doing way better than them. And those people weren't doing that better when they were in
Mm.
Gambia, but they happen to have all these opportunities when they left.
Mm.
So this is the reason why most of the boys actually took the road to
Yeah.
back way. Because I don't think anybody that has it all figured out will actually go to back way. It's not possible. Like I cannot
I
be,
don't want
yeah,
to also believe it. Yeah.
yeah, I cannot be a human being and I have it all figured out. Everything is going good for me. Everything is fine. My family is good. The money is coming in nicely. I would never think about going a back way.
So, do you think investing a lot in even the creative industry, for example, can really help, curtail some of those as well? Because
Definitely,
I think music, football, these are things that really helped the young boys, especially, get off the streets, for example.
definitely. Like, it's a lot of hidden talents in Gambia. People even have talent, but they don't have, like, for instance, look at football. Today, you see a young, talented footballer. He's been playing the Nawetan, he's been playing the
Hmm.
Zonals, he's been playing division for so many
For
years.
so
Since he
many
was like,
years.
yeah, since he was like 16, 15 years old, he's been playing football till he gets to an age that now football has already left him behind. That's a sad situation. You're good. Everybody knows that you're good in football, but you've been playing football your whole life and you've never been
Nothing
lucky
to show
enough
for
to
it.
actually sign a contract. And we've seen so many people here that stuff like that be happening to. So like these are all reasons why boys don't sit and wait for that opportunity. So they go make the opportunity, and then if they feel like backway is the only solution, they go use it. Because me in general, I'm never gonna advise anybody to take the back way. I'm never gonna advise it.
I always
Even
say
though
traveling is good, but make sure to do it the right way.
right, exactly, because I have a little brother that went through the back way.
Mm,
Even though he made it there, but I saw the struggles that he went through before he got there. Like, you understand my point?
mm,
It's
mm.
always very tough, but you will understand that it's because of the way the home, like the way they left home. They don't want, like, nobody wants to live their entire life just sitting there looking at your moms, looking at your pops, and not doing something that will actually better their lives.
So, what
Everybody
do you
wants
think
to.
it would take right now, as a young person? Of course, talk to the boys. You've interacted with the boys. You know what they want. You know what they need. What do you think it will take to change the system?
I feel like create job opportunities for them. You know, I'd like encourage boys to actually take education very seriously. Because like in a country that people just go to school anyhow, the way you go to school, that's the way you come back home. Like nobody cares what you actually was doing in school and stuff like that. These are all problems.
True.
Parents need to start, looking after their kids. Parents need to start knowing what is my son doing when he goes to school. Is he actually like, because we are all victims of that. Like, you understand? The reason why I'm talking about it is because we are all victim of that. Like
Yeah.
people that we just wake up and go to school, come back home, and then
And
it's
nobody
nobody.
cares.
Yeah, it's nobody else out there even asking you how was school today. What did you actually learn? But because you will not blame most of our parents, because that's not the kind of background they grew up from. They too, they didn't grow up like in an environment that they go to school and stuff. Like most of our parents didn't even go to schools and that. You understand? So these are all things that need changes. Like government needs to start emphasizing on these things like a hundred
And
percent.
I
You know,
just want to
ma-
come there. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no, go on, yeah,
and
sure.
making sure that schools, kids are not just going to school. Teachers are actually doing the job that they're being paid for. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you look at kids, like I could remember when I was in high school, I only saw my English teacher in grade 12. I only saw my English teacher 5 times.
Hmm.
And there was a school like SOS. Imagine
And you
like
were supposed
for
to write exam, that same English exam, and pass.
5 times, because this teacher will always, like, she always focus more on her study classes,
Yes, because
than
that is
the
bringing
school.
extra cash.
Exactly, than the school classes. So I only saw the teacher for like 5 times.
And it's not even
Imagine how
school.
many days have I gone to school for that whole year. Like, and then I only saw this teacher for 5 times.
And
And
as long
we
as
were
the
always
private school is
yeah.
expensive.
And we were always happy when she doesn't come, because like we're like, if she's not there, we can do whatever we want. So these are all problems that like the country is
Yeah.
going through when it comes to the educational system. So these are all things that need reforms, like, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and I think this is also, it might be also affecting young people and their mental health, because not long someone committed suicide in, I think, around Yomi, a young guy. Nobody even knew what the issue was. So how is that problem right now in the Gambia?
Well, I think it might be maybe probably to deal with drugs, and it might be dealing with drugs, and because like, what, one
But
thing
even
people
the
feel.
issue of drugs, if we go to the root of the issue of drugs, you know?
Yeah, because the thing is, what people fail to understand is that people always have the concept that drug helps them have their
Cope,
relief
yeah.
from
Mm.
stress. Like, take it from me as somebody who used to be into stuff like that, like weed and all of that. Take it from me that this was something that was actually affecting my mental health to a point that, it always paranoids me, like send me into paranoia and all of that. So like, these are things that you would think are helping you, but it could be damaging, like, your, like, it could be damaging the way you think, it could be damaging your mental health and all of that. So people just need to stay clean, stay sober, stay healthy. Be yourself. Like, you understand my point? Be yourself. Try to do things that will help you and help your family. Because you
Yeah.
cannot just be sitting around one corner all the time, just hoping, like money doesn't fall from the sky.
Hmm.
Money doesn't fall from the sky. Even people that are abroad, they're working. That's why they're making
Yes.
ends meet.
And I always say
Exactly.
you can't
And
sit
those
at one
people are
place.
even
Get up and do
exactly.
something. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a whole lot of changes that are needed, but where it's gonna start, that's the problem. where is this change gonna come from? That's always the
The
problem,
problem.
because for us, I'm always talking about it, talking to the youth, like, to try, just to encourage them that there could be better days, but you need to wake up, you need to get on your feet and go look for those better days. Even
Nobody's gonna bring it to your door. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
That are the hottest. Let's talk a little bit more. Someone in the comment section is saying that. I'm glad that we
And
talked about this
Mr.
topic.
Jack, shout out to
No,
my man Jack, man. Shout
yeah,
out to
yeah.
Jack.
No, for real. For us, it's very important here because we're talking to African youth and we're talking to, Africans who are watching us on this channel. And it's important that we're able to touch on these issues that are affecting us every day. And so let's go back a little bit to you and wrap it up with that because your new project really a banger and is really coming out so well. And you touch on various issues, the same issues that young people are also worried about. Kudo, for example, money.
Yeah,
You talk about money, the importance of getting the money, but you
definitely.
also talk about issues of one love. I know you are big on that. One love. Let's just share this love. You're also talking about setting standards and just fighting back to claim your spot in
Yeah.
the industry. How does this relate to your everyday life and journey?
Well, as like reclaiming the position, that has always been a challenge for me, because I feel like in so many cases, because like today you see an artist like just come on the internet, you know, just start something controversial. Everybody's talking about it. I feel like Gambians tap into that. Like,
Hello, Sin. I think you're breaking there a bit, but we are at the last part of
are you
yes,
getting me?
go on.
Okay.
Yes, now
Yeah,
you're
so
back.
people always like to tap into energies that deals with, like, the negative stuff, the controversy.
Hmm.
But I've always not been an artist like that, because I've always focused on trying to like maintain peace and be just that person that allows the work do the talking. But I've seen in so many cases that it has actually got me to a point that when people are talking about the ones actually doing the work, people kind of sideline me, like they kind of like remove my name from it.
It's like people
And I've
don't want
seen
the good guys. They don't want the good guys.
exactly.
They want the
So
bad
the
guys.
good guys, they're like, nah, man, the good guys, they're too good for us. Like, we need people that are hot. Like, we need people that are hot headed.
And give
People
us
that will actually
attitude.
come, yeah, people that will actually come and say, hey, man, I don't give a damn
Mm,
about nobody and stuff like,
mm,
yeah. These are the
mm,
people that be having the spotlight. But I've always maintained being that disciplined guy and just allow the work to talk. Because every year, you look at me, I let the work do the talking.
yeah.
I always let the work do the talking, but then sometimes you need to show them who you are. That's why the song on the album came, Sadibi, that's actually talking about, like, whatever it is, like, I'm that guy, like I am, like, whether
Like
you
I
like it
am
or not.
here. I
And,
am here.
and definitely, definitely.
And that's exactly what you've proven today. And I think it's the reason why the music is going where it is. And people can't wait to have you one more in that concert. And I think people love you and the way you are, Hussein. And yeah, you don't need to change that. We love you the way you are. And yeah, I know sometimes it's good to remind them like, yo, I'm here. But anytime you do that, they listen.
Definitely, definitely.
So now you are here and everyone is seeing it. The man is here. What do we expect to see from you and your projects involving the young people as well?
Well, actually, like you said, the album is out right now. The show for the album is just around the corner, just in 28 days, inshallah, because it's going to be on the 14th of December. A lot of people are already excited that they're asking for tickets and all of that, even though the tickets are not out yet. But the tickets are going to be out very soon, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 weeks. So let them just be a little bit patient, because right now, like, the thing that makes me the most happiest is that the album is doing good. Like, people are actually listening to the album. People are actually like relating to the stories on the album. People are actually catching up with the vibe, because that's actually when we was working on the album. The reason why I constantly keep listening to it before it came out, the reason why I constantly keep listening to the album is to make sure that this album is gonna come out and people are gonna enjoy it, because I actually allowed myself to have like to have that enjoyment of the album
You feel
before
it
the
first before
so when
anyone.
I felt when I saw that, I felt it to
To
like
the
a hundred
core.
percent maximum. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, there is no way anyone can tell me otherwise when it comes to this album.
I'm glad.
And when it came out, from the reviews, because you're always gonna have people that like I said, man, no, it's not possible that everybody can like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if it's the majority actually loving it, which means it's
You're
good.
okay. Dada, one advice for young people and give them an acapella.
Well, my advice to the youth will be like, always stay positive, always believe in yourself. Just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean that tomorrow you cannot have the best ever day of your life. It always happens to everybody out there. Like, life is like that. Today you're happy, tomorrow you're sad, next tomorrow you're happy. Like, that's just life. There is
Yeah.
not a single human being on planet Earth that's always happy 100%. It's not possible. So if you're having a bad day, always just have a good attitude towards it, and believe me, you will be good. Like, that's
Look
my
at the
advice to,
positive all the time.
yeah, that's my advice to everybody else out there. And I will end the interview by just freestyling Satye's version.
Yo, give us
And
that, baby.
yeah, kachol buka mamanjang ning kunukumbal nata. Ay, kachol buka fiti-fiti jang ning kunukumbal nata. Ay, yuro mo'y dawod da, dadaning boyso le nata. Ay, nintata dawod da, ay kanakuwale sa talim farman sa rimoy kapusulu walin sang. Bad boy dada bidang karapal kung walyele sang wasang. Tolak wo fo nyabon, tol dimbawo buka
Yeah.
panwa ning rapal parmani mo li si jemen sen tol simpa nyata loko katung. Amira tela, asembe tela, ajisila tela sa kusing boy. Malatela alkana fo man kumai kunta sa kuking ay mening gemo kono e ka fo mesin Chris no kel diso le bukata no e beka danu Chris ay meta gemo kono e kwe kanto le sis no kel killing red card ka fo selfie Chris. Hey,
Killing,
thank you
killing
so much.
red cat.
Hey, thank
Yo,
you so much
Dada.
Lucy for having me here.
Thank
It's
you.
been a
And
pleasure.
people were saying, Mudo, we need more of this. We will try to do that.
Definitely.
And in the
Definitely.
comment section, say bye to
I
them.
believe I believe after the album we're gonna have another one
We
inshallah.
should, and we'll talk
Definitely.
about, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Thank you
We do
so
a
much, Maloshi. It's a
debriefing.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate you taking time being here. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you've not followed the 77%, please do so now. Follow us because we like to have these conversations with you as well from time to time. And of course, we have a lot of content that comes your way every single day. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all some other time. Bye bye.